So the way I understood the press release is going forward, there's going to be a new release like every single month because the gap between 1 and 2, what was it like? 36 days or something weird like that, which is like it's a schedule, right? But like it's hard to really plan around what you're gonna do there.
Yeah, I think there's quite a few things with that actually. So first there was the first alpha release, and so a lot more people were getting exposure and seeing what we've been working on. Um, and we're also learning through this process because we have downstreams now
Mhm.
that we didn't have before. And so we were used to our development cycles being essentially uh, do the work that we're doing for Pop! OS,
Mhm.
goes into our CI, it goes through our QA checks and through the QA team, and then it gets released to our customers or Pop! OS users. And anything that ends up also being something that's valuable upstream, like hardware support or fixes in GNOME or anything like that, then goes upstream and goes through their normal cadence.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh, so we're used to just shipping software
Right. Right.
and it's shipping fast. So from Alpha 1 until Alpha 2, Pop! OS users were getting all the work that we were doing constantly, and then we're starting to get duplicate bug reports and things we fixed in this project and that project and the other project and um, different distributions, whether it's Fedora, Arch, or Nix, or packaging. Fedora has a daily channel, but then they also most of these like to prefer to package tagged releases.
Mhm.
And so we realized what we needed to do was change to something that was more predictable for them,
Mhm.
something that also was enough of a cadence that we could show a lot of work being done, and at the so it was worthwhile for them to repackage it,
Mhm.
and but not too long so that people were just using especially with something moving this fast, old software.
Right.
So yeah, we decided to go with monthly releases and we prioritize our work within those releases.
Mhm.
So we know what we want to get into Alpha 3, what we want to get into Alpha 4. It's not certain that everything will go into it because we're going to release on the last Thursday of October. So this one's going to be a little longer. It'll be the 31st, I
Okay.
believe. So we'll release on the last Thursday of each month until all the major features are done.
Okay. Because that's that's one of the things I have noticed that with like some of the reports that have been made, some of them are being made against the alpha tag, whereas others being made against a git tag. If somebody it does want to like get involved with like testing out Cosmic, would the preferred method to just be running whatever the latest git release would be, or do you think there's still some value in doing it from those tag releases as well?
Always the latest Git release. That's just what's we've probably we're addressing so many things so quickly that even we're a week out and we've probably fixed 30 or 40 bugs
Right.
already.
Yeah, there's definitely some things that are like holdovers from prior to Alpha 1. Like my favorite example right now is the fact that vertical monitor screenshots don't work. I love how
Yeah,
for anyone who doesn't know like how broken they are. I think it's related to the portal. I don't think you can capture vertical monitors properly either. Um, but right now, if you try to capture a vertical monitor, uh, so usually a screenshot tool like makes a still frame of the monitor. Right now it's rotated, so it like covers the middle of the screen. Also, half of it is blacked out. So, but this is what I expect.
yeah.
Vertical monitors are one of those things that so many projects just don't test or just don't test properly.
Well, what's interesting is that was actually my call because because we do have a tester that uses vertical monitors,
Ah, okay.
and it's Aaron or a Honeybun,
Mhm.
and he reported a long time ago, and I said, I don't know, I think it's okay for the alpha release. We'll let's ship and we'll get to it. And we actually tried getting it in before the alpha 2 release,
Mhm.
but the engineer that would be working on that is working on the iced refactor, which is
Ah.
a really big project and a lot of work because it goes first. We have to refactor iced into libcosmic,
Mhm.
and then we have to update all the applets, all the apps, and everything else. There's going to be a lot of benefits that come out of that, but it's just a really big project, and so Ashley didn't get to the vertical monitor
Mhm.
screen shot fix yet.
So with the different alpha releases, what is sort of the, I guess, general update cycle? Like, how much are you trying to get into each of these alpha releases? Obviously, there's also going to be bugs that take up time as well, but of the features that are intended, like the ones that you guys know that you want to do before users suggest anything, how much are you trying to get into each of these releases?
The way I actually have this outline, so I have each alpha release outlined with the amount that we'd like to achieve, and so like Victoria and I talked about what she'd like to get done in the compositor for October, what she'd like to get done, how she'd like to prioritize it, and so that's how we get together. And then so that's we just get together, discuss what the engineer would like to work on, what makes sense for them, what things are grouped together, because these are all DRM KMS stuff, and so I would like to work on that together. And so just from the feedback from the development team, that goes into what we expect to get done within that month. I work with Michael on what settings and how to prioritize the settings. A lot of really what we're looking for with settings is how do we enable more users to use Cosmic in a friendly way.
Mhm.
So I really want to get like region settings done in the next cycle.
Mhm.
Things like that, just so that more people have fewer fewer problems just using it day to day.
Right. Right. There's always the nitpick. Like, a lot of the issues I have are like the nitpicky, like, this is like the feel of the desktop, but like core usability, that I think is definitely a lot more important to prioritize first, because you can see there's a lot of projects out there that are like just one-off developers, right? And they prioritize the shiny, the new, the exciting feature, and the core fundamentals are just not there yet. And whilst it might not crash, it's like, okay, but like, let's say it's like a file manager, for example. You have a file manager, and then like you don't have network drive support, which is something that Cosmic Files recently got. But you're working on like fancy, like, I don't know, tabbing in the file manager, things like that. Like, get the basic stuff actually there, and like then you can do the cool, exciting stuff.
Yeah, feature creep is the scariest thing to me, because it's very we have a general attitude that we like to say yes when people have ideas and we think they're good ideas, and or there are problems. Our first inclination is not to reject it. Our first inclination is to say, yeah, we like to do that, but there's if we don't have a line that means release, then there will never be a release, and
Right.
feature creep just piles things up, and you just won't get to that release. And I the smaller things like the nitpicks,
Mhm.
those are the things that I think are really important for the overall feel, but they're also the things that really actually don't take very long.
Sure.
Bugs and nitpicks are things that I want to collect them. Really put it's the thing that takes the most time with those is just making sure we should be doing them.
Mhm.
You have a good. I think you and I talked about a good example on GitHub. Actually, is
Mhm.
uh, focus follows
Yeah.
mouse,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and how that should work in floating mode, and whether there should be a separation between raising a window and whether a window should be behind. I think these are all great things, important things for us to think through. But when we prioritize and how we get, I also want to be very careful not to just add toggles.
Right.